Hi, everybody. So, welcome to the channel. This is something new I'm going to start trying to do a little live stream at the end of the month and talk about what I've been watching both on screen and stage. And I thought that would be fun. And I hope you're all doing well. It was a very, very busy month for me in June because I not only had all my responsibilities as a film critic and theater critic, but I also did this little 1 month job at the Jordan Valley School in the extended school year. For that was like 3 to 4 days a week in the mornings, and so that was a lot of time. Plus, I've been doing this job coaching, so that took quite a few hours out of it, and that's why I didn't go to as many movies in the theater in June as I usually do. I had only been to four. I might try to do two tomorrow. We'll see. Because I missed the bike rider screening, unfortunately, which was a bummer. And I had already seen Janet Planet. That was another one that they had, but I'd already seen it in New York Film Festival. And it was a good movie, but not one I'm like dying to, see again. So yeah, there's that. I only saw four movies in theater in June, which is really low for me. It's kind of crazy. But I saw some other movies and I got to be on a movie show on KSL, and that was very exciting for me. And I get to talk about Inside Out 2 and some of the other films. And I've been a fan of the movie show for so long, and to be able to get to co-host with Steve was a dream come true. I had called in to the movie show when I was in college back in 2002 about Nicholas Nickleby, and I actually called in then and gave my review of the movie. And that was one of the first times I'd ever given a review on air. So that was really fun, and to get to be able to go on the movie show was wild and very exciting. Hope you all got to listen to it, and they seemed to like what I had to do, and so that was very, very exciting. Of course, I've still been working with On Stage blog. I got to do the Tony recap with Tony Awards with Mark Bonanni. Mark's my friend, and we had a great time talking about all these shows. Of course, I wish that I could be in New York and see all these shows, but I wasn't able to get out there this season, but hopefully I keep saving, and I'll get out there eventually. But yeah, I did see a lot of shows. I covered a ton this month, so I was very busy on the theater side of things, and that's been challenging because I just have been so exhausted, and also because I haven't had air conditioning in my car. Sometimes driving out to these theaters has been pretty tiring, but I've been doing the best I can, and trying to cover as many films in theater as I possibly can. I've still been like Mrs. Grumpy Pants. We just seen that with A Quiet Place day one, which I really was disappointed by. I felt like it didn't give us any answers as far as what happened with these aliens, and how did they figure out that there's literally a helicopter that's blasting out, don't make a sound, they're attracted to sound. It's like, how could they possibly know that on day one? It makes no sense. And so I don't know, it was just frustrating, and I just felt like, yeah, Lupita Nyong'o is a good actress, but she's doing exactly the same thing as the other two movies. I mean, it is almost identical. So I thought it was really disappointing, and but it is what it is. This just seems to be the season for me being the contrarian, but I don't want to be. I like liking things. I really do. I really do. So as far as in the theater, the other movies that I saw Quiet Place day one. I saw Bad Boys, Ride or Die. This was my first ever. This was my first ever Bad Boys movie. I had never seen any of the others, and yeah, I wasn't that impressed. I like it. There's some nice camaraderie. There were some fun moments, but I thought the action was filmed very strange. Like, you would think that there would be just like a little bit of gritty kind of realism to something like this. Some action, someone with Lethal Weapon or whatever with some gritty action. No, it was all felt like it was from a video game. Literally, it's at a first person for long sections which really took me out of the action because it just all looked so fake. And then the humor really didn't work for me, especially with Martin Lawrence's character. You know, he has this like existential crisis and this near death experience, and it was all just really strange. And I don't know, I just didn't think it was that funny. The only part I really laughed was in the Reba part. That was kind of funny, and them getting the clothes from the rednecks and stuff, and so that there were some laughs there. But you know, it was not for me. Let's just say that. We also had a pretty good Hallmark movie this month, Savoring Paris. This was stars Bethany Joy Lentz, and it was well written. There was good character work from her. I felt like she starts out, she's kind of sold her soul to this fast food company, and they're making this croque monsieur, which is the sandwich that she loved in Paris. So they're making this fast food version of it, and it just makes her depressed. And she's going to Paris, and she meets two men there. And like the movie actually gave like time for the relationships to breathe, and like felt like because she was there for 3 months, like they actually got to know each other. And of course, Paris is beautiful. I enjoyed it. You know, it's like which one is she going to pick, and everything. And there's a lot of cheese in it, and so yeah, I thought that was a pretty good Hallmark movie. Then the other movie that I saw, of course, is Inside Out 2, which I did enjoy. I don't think it's perfect by any means. I don't really love the portrayal of anxiety and as a villain, bottling up everything else, and you know some of the other things, the choices. But I do think that there was enough there, especially about Riley and her friends and dealing with friends at that age. I think there was enough there to enjoy and appreciate, and so I did like it. I did like it, and so yeah. And then I saw Tuesday in the theater, and this was terrible. I really didn't like it. I thought that it was very repetitive, kind of just kept saying the same message over and over and over again. And it wasn't that like insightful or interesting a message about like, yeah, death is hard. But yeah, we all know that. So what are you doing? And I don't know, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So that's all that I saw in the theater, which is kind of wild. Usually I've seen 10 or 11, but I might go see Bike Riders tomorrow. So there will be that, I guess. And so we have some comments. So Jeremiah says, "Hi, June in theaters. I saw The Fall Guy, Inside Out 2. Both were really well done. Fall Guy was an 8.5 out of 10. Inside Out was 9 out of 10. Cool. Glad you enjoyed those. Take one is, where does Inside Out 2 rank on your Pixar ranking? I would probably put Inside Out 2. Let me see. Let me look up my ranking. Just one sec. I would probably put Inside Out 2 in 12th place. I probably have it in between The Incredibles and Toy Story 3. That's probably where I'd have it right now, at least. I really love your reviews, Rachel. I'm not a fan of Shrek, but I like a lot of animated movies. What do you think of Shrek? The first Shrek? It's like serviceable. I think the humor, like when you first see it, it's like so funny. But sort of they're not jokes that like I think are like repeatedly hilarious. You know, it's not one of those comedies. And it's you know it's a parody film. Parody isn't really my favorite, but I think it's okay. I do think Shrek 2 is much better, and of course Puss in Boots: Last Wish much better than that. So. And hey, and let's see here. Pretty valid. I have it at number 10 in between the original Toy Story, which I have at 9, and Wall-E, which I have 11. Very good. Very good. Love sharing. Yeah, let me know your picks. And yeah, I really appreciate everybody being pretty supportive of. I haven't gotten much flack for having so many contrarian opinions lately, and I think that y'all know that I'm just being honest and just sharing what I think, and I'm not like trying to be a mean critic or trying to I just have been in kind of a rough patch where I haven't loved that much that I've seen, and so it's tough, but I did really love, I saw the TV Glow that I saw last month. And that's a very weird movie. It's not going to be for everybody, but I did really enjoy that. I really enjoyed Hitman. That unfortunately most people just see on Netflix, but I had a good time with that movie. And what was the new one that I was just thinking of that I really enjoyed? I can't remember. But I just finished my Barbie review that I'll post tomorrow, Barbie the movie, and that was really fun to revisit. And I hope y'all really enjoyed that review. And then, so next week I'll be having my ranking of all of the Barbie movies, and that will be really hard. Really hard. Let's see here. I didn't feel anxiety was a villain. She was well-meaning antagonist who eventually became a friend to the group despite flaws. I feel that's a strong portrayal of anxiety. I disagree. I think she was definitely set up as the villain of the piece. I mean, especially the bottle, literally putting all the emotions into jail, sending them away. I think it was pretty strong, and I don't know. I think we've worked so hard in validating mental health that I get nervous when I feel like it's portrayed in a mostly negative light. It wasn't until the very end that they started to show some kind of humanity for it. But I enjoyed the film, particularly everything I have to say about friendship. And at that age, the way that you just kind of cycle through friends. Let's see here. I feel this is similar to anxiety's portrayal and insight to a real problem, but a problem that can be befriended and subside as a result. Oh, sorry. It reminded me of a meditation guru who said he kind of befriended anxiety through mindfulness. He said when anxiety came on him, he would say, "Hello, anxiety, welcome." Yeah, we've worked real hard as a culture to remove some of the stigmas. And so I think it's really important. But it was better than I expected it to be and set out to. Because I think the marketing was really bad. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Dina is sharing his ranking and with the chat, so that's fun. And I also have the super chat if you feel so inclined to share. That would be great, and I'd answer any of your questions. But yeah, I have Barbie the movie review posting tomorrow, and I hope y'all really enjoy it. I really enjoyed making it, and it's my last Barbie review for a while. And then I will be doing the ranking next week, so that will be really, really, really fun. But some other movies that I watched, not at the theater, but new releases that I watched this month. That I had Young Women in the Sea. That was at the end of last month, but I really did enjoy that. I really like inspirational sports movies. And this was, I think, very well done. And I had known about Trudy's story and this great book called The Great Swim about Trudy, and I highly recommend it. It was really good. So I also got to see Puss in Boots: The Last Wish in the theater, and you know how much I love that movie. So that was really fun. Some other movies that I saw Firebrand, and this is a movie about Catherine Parr, who was the final wife of Henry VIII. And it was really interesting because we don't know that much about her, even though she wrote 3 books. And Alicia Vikander, really good. And Jude Law just completely transforms in Henry VIII. He looks exactly like this one famous painting. And he was a total beast. And this one will be boring to some people. Some people won't like it. But if you like costume dramas, if you like those kind of things, then you might enjoy it. Okay. So then we have... of course, there was the Jim Henson documentary, Idea Man. I really enjoyed that. And the Beach Boys documentary, I enjoyed as well. And this one is, it's just kind of your basic, behind the band kind of documentary. But, if you like the Beach Boys, which I do, then it's kind of fun to learn a little bit more about them. And you can watch that on Disney, both of them on Disney+. There was Bratz. And this was less successful. The problem, so this was about the Brat Pack. Problem is that they just Andrew McCarthy kept asking the same questions over and over and over and over again. So it got a little bit frustrating after a while to just you keep you keep having the same insight about how hard it was to be in the Brat Pack. Like, can you ask like some more questions and something different, from these different people? I don't know. It was just a little bit. So, but it's like okay, but not great, not great. But that's it. Yeah, it was like I said, because I had this job this month, it wasn't as busy as it usually is for me in the world of movies, and so but I did see a lot of shows. I reviewed a lot of shows for Utah theater bloggers and for my own content. I saw Matilda, and this was in Harriman, and it was a really amazing production. It was outside. It was a tough venue because it was very echoey, but they had a full orchestra, and I mean the sets were incredible, and I really appreciated it because they had chocolate cupcakes that you could get as far as concessions, which was a lot of fun because if you know Matilda, he's this giant chocolate cake, so I like it when they go the extra mile like that, these companies. And I like Matilda, but I think it's way too long, and I think they should take out everything with the escapologist plot. I think it just bogs it down. And yeah, that's just my opinion. But it is fun, especially to see the kids, like being so happy. And okay, then I saw The Little Mermaid, and it was kind of fun because it started to rain pretty bad, and this was an outdoor theater, and the actors just like pushed on through, which is always memorable. I don't love this adaptation of The Little Mermaid for Broadway, but it's so weird. Why do they have Flounder in love with Ariel? It makes no sense. But it still was fun. Go with my friends, be part of the experience. So I enjoyed that. I saw The Wedding Singer, and this is actually like an underrated show. The songs are really catchy. It's basically your translation of the movie into a musical, but they did a good job with the songs. And there's not that many rom-coms on Broadway anymore, and so it's fun to get to see The Wedding Singer. And was from a new company called the Ideal Playhouse in Heber, and so that was one of those ones that was like very hot to get to. It was very hot, but it was fun. Then I saw The Lightning Thief. This was West Valley Performing Arts Center. This was a really wonderful production as far as the sets and like everything, and the incredible performances, especially the lead who's in almost every scene. But I thought the songs were very underwhelming, completely forgettable. There were so many characters that the whole thing just felt muddled and messy. So I didn't really like the show, but they did a good job with it. Then I saw Kiss Me Kate at Centerpoint. And Centerpoint's one of the most reliable theaters that we have, and they were wonderful. The talent was so good. All the great songs, incredible dancing. I really especially liked the dancer and actor that played Bill. He was so good. It's a long show. Like you have to be kind of patient. Of course, there's outdated elements to it, but I still enjoyed it. And then I saw Phantom of the Opera, and this was the first time I've seen it at a regional level, and that was so cool. And it was all done by youth at Kensington Theater, and they did an incredible job. Like the incredible singing, the sets, the lighting. They had a full live orchestra in a pit in the ground, and it was very impressive. Very, very, very impressive. Then I saw Silent Sky. This was The Empress, and this is about this woman, Henrietta, and that was this famous astronomer in like the turn of the century at Harvard. And it's a really well-meaning, well-done story, and I did enjoy it more this time than the first time I saw it, but it's a little dry, I think. It's a little boring, in my opinion. But I saw Girl from the North Country, and this was the national tour. I did not like it at all. I didn't like the songs. I didn't like the way it was staged. The stage was extremely cluttered at all times, which like it hurt you from being able to really focus on the actors. I didn't think it was directed well. I didn't think the story was compelling. The story had no focus. It was like what? And the songs felt completely random to me. and I just wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling it, and so I left at intermission. It wasn't for me. Then I saw She Loves Me, which is one of my favorites at Springville Playhouse. And this was a little bit hard because it was at this school with these office chairs. And it is a pretty long show, even though it's one of my favorites. But it was still really fun, and the talent was there, and they had a great set, great costumes. So, that was good. And then I saw Seussical at Hale Orem, and this is not like the strongest show. They didn't really do a good job combining all these Seuss stories together, but I did enjoy the sets and the spectacle, and the Cat in the Hat was really funny, and so that helped sell it. So I did enjoy it. I saw Into the Woods at OPA. I don't love Into the Woods, you all know that, but a friend of mine was playing the witch, so you got to go, and she was incredible. Caitlin Olsen, she was so good. I still don't love Into the Woods, but I can appreciate, the work that goes into it, and some of the good things about it, some of the songs and things like that. But yeah, so there we go. I saw Oliver at Hope Box, and this was awesome. They did this steampunk version, which was perfect, because it's set in Victorian times anyway. And they had all these like cogs and clocks all over, and everybody was in tap hats and the goggles and everything. And it was so creative. The costumes were incredible. I really enjoyed it. Of course, it's so frustrating watching Oliver because Nancy's like such a frustrating character, but still. Then I saw School of Rock at Creekside, and I've never seen this one before, but I really wanted to because it's Andrew Lloyd Webber and Julian Fellows and Glenn Slater, and it's like a dream team. And it was really fun. I think I actually prefer it to Matilda. The songs, I particularly really loved a song called "If Only You Would Listen." I think that was an excellent song with a great hook. And it's hard because, the lead guy, Dewey, he is so unlikable, and for a long stretch of it. For a show with children, that's kind of unusual, but I think they did pull it off. They had tons of mic problems. It was a little bit challenging that night, but I still did enjoy it. Then I saw See How They Run. That's what I saw last night. And this is such a funny play from the 1940s. And it still holds up even today, which I think is kind of amazing. Like, it's still just so funny. There's this mistaken identity. There's all these people in the like clerical collars running around. And I don't know. You have to see it. But if you ever get a chance, it's really fun. And it's at Bluffdale Arts, and it's free. So you got to love that. Free theater. See, I actually love the Broadway adaptation of The Little Mermaid. I saw it off Broadway, and I thought the script was strong. It kept a lot from the film, has Eric sing good songs. In the Broadway? I don't think the Broadway, the live action movie has an Eric song, but I don't think the Broadway has Eric sing a song. I've seen Seussical locally a few times. It's pretty good visually. It's always fun. And as a Seuss fan, I love how it's a conglomeration of the Seuss books. Cool. And I don't love having Ursula be Triton's sister, and I don't know. I don't love the adaptation, but it still has some good stuff, and a few of the new songs are okay. Daddy's Little Angel, that's pretty fun. That's fun, and if you get a cast that's on the roller skates, that can be fun. I saw a version of The Little Mermaid at Bluffdale, actually, in like March or April, that had a cast of 200 people. It was unbelievable. They said, we were going to let anybody who wants to participate can participate, and it was mostly kids, and they would have like 25 like little turtles and seagulls and guppies, and it was really unbelievable. So that was one of the most like amazing kind of community experiences that I've been able to be a part of this year. It was very cool. I wish you could have all seen this Phantom of the Opera that these teens did. It was so good. I was so impressed. I wanted to go see it a second time, but I just ran out of time, unfortunately. But yeah, and then I'm going to see Anastasia tonight for UTBA. It's not my favorite. It's by the same people who did Seussical, actually, believe it or not. I think they just made it kind of boring, but I can, like I said with Into the Woods, I can still see a show that I'm not crazy about and still give it a fair, honest review. And that's what I'll do tonight. And one of Tanner Tate, who was on Theater Tuesdays when I was doing that, he's in it and he's so good. So I'm looking forward to that. And so there's that. And July things should pick up a lot. I should go to a lot more movies for sure in July because, like I said, I'm not doing this school thing in July, so I should have more time. And even if, like, obviously I'm not going to go to movies like in the early morning, but it just like makes you more tired, when you're starting your morning at like 8 a.m. And you're working all day, and it's harder to kind of get out to the movies in the evening. So that's I think why I saw so much less than I normally do in June, but I still saw a number of good films. It's just weird to only see 4 movies in the theater. I better go see some tomorrow, or I'm gonna look bad. What kind of film critic am I? Maybe it wears me down, always having these negative opinions. At least I did enjoy Inside Out too. But yeah, it's been a little rough. I I said I saw the TV Glow. I did like Hundreds of Beavers. That's fun. Get a chance to see that. Yeah, I think I like The Idea of You a lot better than Fall Guy. If was a disappointment. The Garfield movie was just okay. Mars Express, if you get a chance to see that, that's really good. I'm not sure if it's on, if it's rentable yet. Oh yeah, you can rent it. So you should all check it out. It's really good. And Furiosa was just okay. So there we go. That is everything I have to say. And I'll have things a little more streamlined for next time I do one of these. Just kind of experimenting and trying this out. Like I said, I have the Barbie review coming tomorrow, so keep an eye for that. And lots of fun stuff coming to Hallmarkies podcast. We did my favorite rom-coms over there, ranking with me and Terry, our favorite rom-coms this week. So you should check that out. That's a pretty fun video. And we've got some really fun Christmas in July content coming up over there. So you want to check that out. And let's see here. One more comment. Also, how do you feel about Pixar considering rebooting Finding Nemo and The Incredibles? That just sounds, what's the point? Like, why? What are you going to do? Like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's no point. Like, we already got it. I think it's basically already a masterpiece. Will you reboot it? I just don't see any point in that. But, I mean, I guess if you were trying like a really different, if they were going to try to do it in like hand-drawn animation or something, maybe I might be interested. But just, what's the point? I don't see it. See, it says, If looked cute, but it was trying to do so much. I'm not surprised it wasn't very good. Yeah, it was like trying to do too much, but it was also just like not trying to do anything. Like they were just kind of ambling about the city, like doing errands. Like there was no real like narrative thrust of like, okay, we're just trying to make this girl feel better, but there was no real like task for them to do. And there was no real, it was surprisingly like lacking in whimsy and fun. It was surprisingly lacking in imagination for a movie about imaginary friends. It was the script just was not there. It was not there. So, what are you gonna do? It happens. But there we go. That is my thoughts. I kind of what I've been watching, stage and screen. So let me know what you think. And thanks so much for the comments. I really appreciate it. And hope you're all doing well. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Check out the Patreon. That's the biggest way you can help. And we have monthly watch-alongs where talent come on and we get to hear all the behind the scenes about how different movies are made. This month we have Catherine Davis. We're going to be watching Santa's Got Style, which is really fun, that movie. So if you want to learn how movies are made, you should check it out. And any level of Patreon can join in. Plus you get exclusive reviews and early episodes. It's really fun. And let's see here. Let's see what I didn't know they were doing that. I just want, yeah. I wasn't a big fan of If either. 5 out of 5 out of 10. Yep. So there we go. Oh, you're talking about Pixar, yeah. I mean, it was a rumor. It's probably I wouldn't put too much stock in it, but at least we got Inside Out too, so that was pretty good. So we can be grateful for that from Pixar. Certainly better than what they've had recently since Luca. But there we go. And I hope you're all doing well, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.